This is Yerevan, the capital of Armenia, a country where hospitality dominates every part of Armenian society. And yet history and geography have brought more sorrow than peace. A decades-long conflict over Nagorno-Karabakh has defined the rivalry between Armenia and Azerbaijan. The roots trace back to the early Soviet era, when borders drawn in the 1920s under Stalin placed the region inside Soviet Azerbaijan, despite its predominantly Armenian population. As the Soviet Union collapsed, demands for self-determination escalated into ethnic violence. By 1994, Armenians held the territory, but the conflict never froze. In 2020, a Turkish-backed Azerbaijani offensive shifted the balance of power. And in 2023, Azerbaijani forces triggered the mass exodus of more than 100,000 ethnic Armenians from the region. Once a staunch Russian ally, Armenia is now rethinking its future. Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan blamed Russia and its peacekeepers for failing to protect Armenia and its citizens. On August 8th, in Washington, Armenia and Azerbaijan signed a joint declaration of peace brokered by U.S. President Donald Trump. The proposed accord aims to reopen long-sealed borders, linking Azerbaijan to its Nakhichevan exclave and onward to Turkey and Europe.
In this declaration, the leaders agreed upon the major fundamental principles according to which the connectivity issue should be solved. Unblocking and relaunching the transport infrastructure, transit ties between Armenia and Azerbaijan. And these principles are like acknowledgement of territorial integrity, inviolability of the borders, sovereignty of the countries.
But what does progress on paper mean for people living along the border? At the request of the Armenian government, a European monitoring mission was deployed in Yeregnadzor, Armenia, along the Azerbaijani border. The drive from Yerevan to the mountainous village of Yeregnadzor took roughly 2 hours. With scarce road signs and a weak GPS signal, navigation is tricky. Our driver, Karen, relies on his own sense of direction. We finally spot the clearly marked vehicles and EU flags.
And here we are at the European Union monitoring mission in Armenia, in Yeregnadzor, and this is their 4-story building, and we're about to go and have a media patrol tour. Hi.
Hey, so good to see you.
Thank you so much.
I meet Ingrid, the EU mission's press officer. Before we set off, she takes us upstairs. This is Marcus Ritter. He's the head of the monitoring mission here.
Walk us through a typical day of your mission's patrol.
In all of our 6 forward operating bases, they are preparing in the morning to go on a patrol, either to the border, directly to the border with Azerbaijan, we call it security situation awareness patrol, or they are conducting human security patrols. That means they are visiting villages, farms, small towns in the back of the border.
I ask him about his key challenges.
Then we had 2 political challenges. First with the Russians, who still say that up to today that we are a covert NATO mission, that we are a kind of spearhead of the West, who again tries, like in other Eastern European countries, to kick out Russia from its old zone of influence. And we had our problems with the Azerbaijanis.
Marcus tells me the Azerbaijani government refused to set up a permanent mission on their side of the border.
At the beginning, the rhetoric from Baku was quite hostile. There were a lot of disinformation.
On September 23, 2023, at the entrance to the Frontlines corridor, Marcus witnessed Armenians fleeing Nagorno-Karabakh in a mass exodus. As thousands crossed the border, the mission began documenting and counting, providing the first clear picture of the scale of the displacement.
How many numbers did you deliver?
A little more than 100,000 what we counted. So in 5 days, it was every day around 20,000 people leaving Nagorno-Karabakh. So that was quite a time.
And quite the time for our next stop. We were about to follow the patrol team as they lead us closer to the frontline areas.
We are now around 10 kilometers south of Yeghnadzor, and over this ridge there, what you can see there, on the other side down, this is Nakhichevan, so we are...
That is
this
Nakhichevan?
over behind.
These are just Armenians just traveling, like this is just local Armenians?
That is local Armenians going to Gnichik. That is a very small village at the end of this road. That's also why they keep this road maintained, because it's the only supply road to there. Right. It's a dead-end road.
Are there some incidents you would see here?
What we can see here also with our equipment, if there are new positions, for example. We can also document if there are any changes in the position of both sides. And then we're making a report, and we have a huge archive where we can see how the situation at the border developed since our arrival in February 23 until now. So we know that on both sides a lot of fortification have been built and a lot of trenches, bunkers, whatever, artillery position, and that is what we are documenting.
What is supposed to be the Trump route for peace and prosperity?
Yeah.
Where is this supposed to be built?
That is planned south of Syunik province at the border between Armenia and Iran.
And so we drive even further with the frontline observers to get a closer look of what is expected to become the new trip route in the South Caucasus.
So we're driving now to the top.
Yes, we are going there. It's close to an old chapel where we have a good view. We can see to the border to Nakhichevan, but we can also see, I hope so, today with the weather, the Ararat, and so that you can see how narrow everything is. It's close to Iran, it's close to Azerbaijan, it's Armenia, and Turkey is not far away.
After a 15-minute drive, we arrived at the very top. And in fact, Mount Ararat was most definitely visible.
One view, you have 4 countries here.
That is some 300 kilometers from the border with Iran, and that connects to Armenia's Syunik province.
And that's the area that's at the center of the proposed transport link, referred to by Azerbaijan as the Zangezur corridor, which has been renamed
the Trump route for international peace and prosperity, and which essentially will link the entire South Caucasus.
But on the top, it's still Armenian.
With the patrol tour behind us, we now head into Yeghnadzor to hear from those living closest to the border, to find out whether that sense of safety is truly felt on the ground. Can you tell me how this mission makes you feel safe, particularly following the war?
We feel a lot calmer, a lot safer.
How so?
The fact that the EU mission is headquartered here, that's all I can say.
But how would you feel if you found out that they would shut their doors tomorrow?
What can I say? We must endure. If they leave, the situation in the country may not improve. We are always ready for war. We are used to it.
Do you think you feel safer here with the EU mission headquartered right here?
If it's all right, I would rather not answer that question.
Almost every woman we approach seems reluctant to speak.
I don't really know.
Except for Anahit. If they were to end their mission tomorrow, what would you feel? Would you be afraid?
Afraid? Of course. It's never good to panic, but this fear has already been instilled in us. Seeing the presence of these foreigners here, the European mission, they patrol the border, they've resolved issues, and for us that is very significant.
Do you believe that the memorandum that Armenia and Azerbaijan signed in the United States will truly bring
Peace? No.
She cuts me off abruptly.
I don't believe it because they always move forward with their own lies. After the second Nagorno-Karabakh war, after losing so many children, so many young soldiers, one has no leg, another has no arm, another has no eye. Do you really think we can believe there will be peace after they did this to our children? It's true, I personally haven't lost a child, but every child lost is our loss. May God grant peace to everyone. May not even our enemy's child ever see this. But I no longer believe this.
And as we descend from the hills of Yeregnadzor back to Yerevan, we make our way to another place of remembrance, a place where the cost of conflict is etched in stone, Yerabalur Military Cemetery in Yerevan. This is where some 5,000 Armenian soldiers are buried following the 2020 Second Nagorno-Karabakh War. Most were aged between 18 and 25. Each tombstone here tells a story: a son, a brother, a neighbor, a friend. This monument here stands as a symbol, a sculpture of the Virgin Mary modeled after the Ghazanchezodsk Cathedral in Shushi, destroyed by Azerbaijani shelling in 2020. Once a symbol of Nagorno-Karabakh, it represents a piece of Armenian identity they fear they may never see again. Two women catch my attention. Is this your son's photograph?
His picture is also on the back of his tombstone.
I ask her how old her son was.
25.
This morning, Mother tells me her son, an artillery reconnaissance officer in Mataris, came home for only 20 days before volunteering to return to the front, knowing the risks but driven by duty. In Jirakan, he helped soldiers and cared for the wounded. She tells me his name.
There's only one Marukhan here.
I ask her whether she thinks that peace between Armenia and Azerbaijan is achievable.
You know, I don't really want to get into the details. That peace is an artificial peace. There will never be peace.
I ask for their names.
Mariam.
Javahir. Wow.
Both of you come here together every day?
Almost daily.
Javahir tells me her son died alongside 7 other soldiers. She recalls searching for his body for almost a year.
They are ours. They're all our boys. My son is that way.
She's going to show us her son's grave. She just said that she comes here every day and to clean the graves, and not only of her son and her friend's son, but also everybody's grave that needs to be somehow polished.
Aram Stepanyan, 25 years old. I asked them whether they think that Russia played a role in Armenia's loss. What do you think?
Of course they did.
Behind Javahir, 3 women look on. This grandmother here pleads to know if we filmed her grandson's grave as well. She refers to me as sweetheart. There is a group of Armenian soldiers. Do you come here often?
Every week.
Do you believe that one day there will be peace?
We neither anticipate nor sense that it will happen, and honestly, I don't see any significant change.
You don't see any change?
We're just ready for anything at any given moment.
What do you feel when you come to Yerabulur?
It's an unexplainable feeling. Everyone feels something inside.
What about you?
The one word to describe what we feel is pain.
Do you have many friends that are buried here?
Our friends are not just buried here. In almost every village, 3 or 4 of them are buried.
All right, let's line up in 3 rows and we take 10 steps forward.
We leave Yerabulur carrying the weight of what we've seen, from the quiet resilience of Yeregnadzor residents to the eternal resting place of those who paid the highest price for conflict. Armenia is a country straddling hope and fear, its people caught between past tragedies and uncertain futures. And while the EU monitoring mission will continue its work at the border, policymakers have implemented their own vision of what the future holds for this South Caucasus country of 3 million. And while the road to peace remains long and fragile, Armenians are learning to navigate this new reality. Some seek prosperity and Western alliances. Others remain skeptical of any genuine peace or reconciliation.